From sending fake texts to using crypto ATMs or sending emails about an Amazon charge, scammers are honing their skills to steal your money and personal information. Welcome, everyone, to Rural America Live. I'm Mark Oppold, and this edition of Rural America Live with AARP once again. From crypto to romance scams to celebrity impersonations, consumers reported losing billions, with a B, billions of dollars to these scams in 2023, proving that frauds and scams are big business. Tonight, we take a deep dive into how scammers operate. Along with our friends from AARP, a special guest from the FBI taking your calls and sharing his thoughts and insights into the minds of these criminals as well. Our question of the month: what types of scams have you encountered recently? And we're giving away a carry-all tote. 5 lucky on-air callers will take one of those home. Now, we'll send it to you, rather. So pick up the phone, join our conversation. We're wasting no time. We're opening our phone lines right now. Maybe you have a scam you'd like to share with others so they may be aware as well. Give us a call, 877-283-7570. You don't need to be a member of AARP or even over 50 to win tonight. As a reminder, though, you can only win once each year. That hasn't changed since the last time that I was here as well. We want those who are winners tonight know that an AARP volunteer will be calling you back using the number that you called in on. So be nice when they give you a call. It won't be tonight, but they will give you a call the next few days to confirm your mailing address. If you're a past winner, have not received your cooler, be sure to return the call when they do call again, providing the shipping address. AARP pays all shipping costs. And new this year, I was interested to hear more about this. If you're not a lucky winner, last month, tonight, you can enter AARP's Second Chance Sweepstakes, aarp.org/AARP Live. Or you can scan the QR code on your screen right now and enter. One carry-all tote will be given away each month, the winner announced during next month's program. So we'll be announcing the March winner here later in the program. Rules do apply. You can only win, again, one time in a calendar year. We'll announce February's Second Chance winner later tonight. Phone lines again are open. Give us a call. It's a great conversation when you join us. 877-283-7570. And ready to take your calls here right now. I want to welcome our friends from AARP. Great to be back here, Rural America Live. And we have Amy Knopfsinger with us. She is a director of the Fraud
Victim Support.
Fraud Victim. Yeah. There you go. I went past that. And Sean Voskel from Oklahoma. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I'll tell you what. And then Patrick called and said, "Hey, Mark, we need some help. Can you come out and help us out for a little while?" And I said, "You bet." And I found out that we're doing AARP. So,
well, it's surprised we get you. You know, you're a big Iowa fan, so I'm sure the Caitlin Clark hysteria.
Oh, I'll tell you,
I know you're in the middle of all that, so it's good that you're able to leave a little while.
Well, it's good to be here. We got a lot of work to take care of, but I want to give a shout out to all the folks that have a great history with here.
Yeah.
Sarah, if you're watching tonight, and Sam and Greg, and what a great time we had all those years, and it's good to be back in the chair here now again. So
good to be with you.
And later, we mentioned a special guest from the FBI taking your calls as well. So great to be here as well. Amy, before we get started here, there's a lot of scams we're going to talk about, but there's some new ones that are fairly recent. I know you wanted to start out with data breaches. You hear a lot about that. Well, those could be millions of people, actually. Give us an update there.
So this is really hot off the presses. A lot of people got a letter last week saying that their information might have been compromised in a data breach, and this includes Medicare numbers. So the thing we want people to know about is if you do receive one of these letters, don't panic. Right? Don't panic, because it's kind of like opening up the door to the house and maybe looking in, but nothing was taken. So it doesn't mean you're a victim, but you're going to want to do what the letter says. And oftentimes they'll offer you free credit monitoring service, and it's up to you if you want to take it. But if you don't already have it or have a freeze on your credit, I suggest you do it. But we've gotten a lot of calls on the helpline about this because it's a hot topic right now.
Yeah. And we hopefully we have our guest from the FBI who may have some thoughts on that here as well. Looking at the numbers, we talked about billions here, Amy. How much money has been lost to scams? It's really shocking. Criminals really never let up. They're at it all the time.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And the one that I really want to talk about tonight, and this is in the AARP bulletin for all you AARP members out there, are these crypto ATM machines. So this is kind of a new thing, and criminals love them. They love these ATM machines, and I'm sure some of you have even seen them. They look like regular ATM machines. The transactions are very hard to trace. And just remember, if anyone calls you over the phone, sends you a text message, and wants you to go to one of these crypto ATM machines, it's 100% a scam, because legitimate organizations do not demand payment this way. But people are losing tens of thousands of dollars at these machines.
Why do criminals pick out that scam? Why do you think they are over and over on that scam?
Well, they'll use any scam, but this form of payment they love, because right now there's about 49,000 of these crypto ATM machines in our country right now. So look at your grocery store, your gas station the next time you're there, and I bet you'll see one of these machines.
Wow.
So it makes it so accessible for the criminals. And plus, you can put in upwards of like $100,000 in these machines. And the minute you hit send, the money is gone.
It's gone. Yeah. Sean, in the AARP bulletin, there's a roundup of of some of the other more popular scams. We may not be able to cover them all, but just want to touch on a few. What would they be?
Well, if you're like me and still write checks and pay for bills that way, there's a little bit of a turn of we've heard about a check washing years ago where they would steal your checks from the mailbox. So you always want to be very careful about dropping your payments off at a mailbox. So, one thing to think about is take your check inside the post office and mail it. But now it's, instead of check washing, it's check cooking, where they're getting digital photos of your check once they steal it, and it will look automatically like a real check, and they're able to deposit, and your money's gone. Celebrity impersonation, we know that one's always a top one. So always be wary of anyone, a performer or a star athlete who is really asking you to send them money, because that's most certainly a scam. I think the other one is voice printing, which again, with AI being so popular now, people grabbing your voice. So be careful when someone asks you to answer a few questions on the phone because they're trying to get your voice, and use that for fraudulent ways. And again, the grandparent scam, we know it's a big one.
Wow.
And there's always a new twist to it. And so what's happening now, these fraudsters are hiring younger individuals to sound more like children that can, and they'll give you a case number for, like, if they're stopped by the police, here's the case number, and they'll give you a fake number to call in. And so it makes it sound more authoritative by giving the case number, but you got younger kids saying, Dad, Grandpa, can you help me out? So again, they're finding new ways to put an old twist on the grandparent scam.
Wow, really, I remember doing a lot of shows on the grandparent scam, romance scam, and the Valentine's Day around in that time of the year, and Christmas. I mean, the holidays, they kind of move with the holidays and the calendar, it seems, of these scammers, and it's something that might be easy for someone to look over and not pay attention. I hadn't heard about the impersonation scams here. I would think that would be a little easier for them, Well,
Caitlin Clark, what if you get a direct message saying, hey, I'm going to join
I believe that.
That's what I mean. That's what you got to be careful.
I make light of that, but
they're not going to direct message you asking for money or needing help with a financial situation. And so just be wary. That's most definitely a scam. Just be careful of. And we hear that, we'll have the Oak Ridge Boys on in July, and they talk about how many people use that celebrity scams.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, and during the pandemic, there were more, celebrities who went to Facebook Live and a lot of those social media outlets and talked with their fans out there. So that kind of gave a little more momentum to having these messaging on social media.
I saw something this week about, this would be larger cities, Philadelphia, New York, maybe Chicago, of toll booth scams where you get a text or something that says you owe $50 from a toll, and if you don't think it's yours, or you want to pay it or challenge it, call this number, and then they take it from there.
Yeah,
that's a big one. We also heard recently of kind of a new twist on the ATM, skimmers that they put in gas stations. But now be careful for the self-checkout lines at grocery stores. that they've got the ATM skimmers there, and many times we'll have people out in front panhandling. You're thinking they are, but they've got the Wi-Fi and they're hearing those account numbers and getting that information.
Wow.
And while you think they're panhandling out there, they're getting your financial information from the self-checkout line when you're buying your bananas. So be
Wherever
careful
there's
there.
money, there's a
I
criminal.
think they call that the Romanian scam.
I don't know, but
Anyway,
wherever there's
it's a
money,
scam.
there's a criminal.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, there's a lot to talk about here. Just getting a good start tonight. We need to take a quick break, and we come back. The FBI is going to join us, and we have a carry-all tote to give away. 5 lucky callers. You might want to get on that phone and talk to someone who does this as well as Amy and Sean on a daily basis here. But we want you to join the conversation. Give us a call, 877-283-7570. We'll all be right back and joined by the FBI.
Sure, social media quizzes are fun, but they're also great at harvesting information that can be used against you. So think twice before taking that online quiz. You'll want to be careful what you share. Scammers use online quizzes to fish for answers to your security questions. What seem like harmless questions like the name of your childhood pet or favorite ice cream could be the keys they need to reset your accounts. With this information, they can steal your money or get access to your credit report. Each little piece of data about you may seem harmless, but when combined, they can be used by scammers to build a comprehensive profile about you. And once that's done, they can use it to steal your identity or put your information up for sale on the dark web. For more online safety tips, go to aarp.org/FraudWatchNetwork.
And with that, we welcome you back to Real America Live with AARP. I'm Mark Oppel. Great to be back here myself and join our friends at AARP. A great show tonight, just getting a good start. I'm joined by our friends from AARP. Haven't seen them in a while. They brought a special guest with them from the FBI. We talked about that. We want to hear from you. We're going to introduce him in just a moment. But give us a call. On our phone lines are open, 877-283-7570. 5 lucky on-air callers. We're going to win a carry-all tote. Give us a call. You could be a winner. That number again, 877-283-7570. If you're not a lucky winner tonight, you can enter AARP's Second Chance Sweepstakes. That's not a scam. That's real. AARP.org/AARP Live, where you can scan the QR code that you see on the screen to enter as well. One tote will be given away each month with the winner announced during next month's program. We'll announce last month's winner, by the way, a little bit later in the show. I'm here with AARP Fraud Watch Helpline Director Amy Knopfsinger and Oklahoma AARP Director Sean Bosco. Sure great to see both of you again here and enjoying this hour. It's going to go way too fast for a lot of reasons here. And we're joined by now a very special guest that they brought with them this year, a 20-year veteran of the FBI, Brian Blosser from Denver. Welcome to the program, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Real quick background, how did you get into that? And you're now in Denver, but you've been all around the country you're talking about before coming on the air here.
Yeah, I guess I graduated from University of Nebraska, Cornhusker. Hopefully that doesn't offend too many in the audience. But no, I was a public accounting, did public accounting after college and realized that wasn't something that I wanted to do for a long time career. And it's kind of aging myself a little bit here, but my dad said, hey, the FBI have an ad in the paper for special agents. So I'm like, oh, that sounds like a pretty interesting gig. I had previously had an individual that came and spoke to our civics class in high school, and it kind of always put the bug in my ear of what it was about. And so I'm like, yeah, why not? And so that was back in 2004 when I started. and have been in multiple field offices, but Denver's kind of where we're calling home now.
Very good. And Brian is a supervisory special agent of the Complex Financial Crimes Squad in Denver, and we just heard a little bit about how he got there and what he's doing right now. So Brian, what do you have? Things have changed, I'm sure, as Amy and Sean have pointed out. And when you talk about scams, it's always changing.
Absolutely. I mean, the bad guys are there to get your money in any way they possibly can, and they are utilizing technology. I think what I've seen the biggest shift of is really the location that the bad guys are at. Historically, we had a lot of U.S.-based bad actors, but now they can be anywhere in the world. They can be sitting in another country,
sure,
pulling off the exact same type of crimes because of the ease of the internet.
And we talk about financial crime. Some of these numbers are just staggering what they're doing to people.
Yes, so the FBI has IC3, which is a Internet Crime Complaint Center. We put out data related to the complaints that we receive. And this last year we had about $12.5 billion worth of fraud reported to us. So staggering numbers.
Wow. What do you want to, folks, there's another reason why. Pick up that phone. You have someone from the FBI. If you've been scammed or you think you might be in the middle of one, wow, what better time and what better person to call and contact and have a one-on-one conversation here live on Rural America Live. What do you want to hear from callers? How would it help spread the word tonight, people that do call in, Brian?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we can do from a law enforcement perspective is the education and proactive outreach to try to prevent those individuals from becoming victims in the first place. So really, please call. We'll be happy to provide any advice we can in regards to your specific situations and just general advice on how not to become a victim.
Very good. Looking forward to your input here for the balance of the show. Well, we invited you to call, and so let's get to the phones and get to work here and put the team to work here. Walt from Illinois, you're the leadoff hitter tonight. Welcome.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad to call. I've had a couple of experiences. One was a long call from the police that my grandson was being held in jail because he caused an accident and wanting me to send money. And another one was another time they pretended to be my grandson, one of my grandsons, and that he was in jail and needed money. And a third scam, I got in the mail a traffic ticket from Chicago, and I'm 200 miles from Chicago, so of course didn't pay it.
Very good. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, no, obviously those are multiple different types of scripts that the bad guys utilize to try to defraud you of your money. And we've certainly seen those methods. The one you kind of mentioned, the grandson scams, I mean, those are just methods that they are utilizing to take your money in any way possible. So what we really like to say in those circumstances is slow down. I know they're trying to cause fear in you. They're trying to get you to react right away, but we want you to take a breath, maybe hang up the phone and call your grandson and ask, hey, have you been in an accident or whatever? So trust but verify is kind of what we like to say, and that'll kind of apply to a lot of the different scams that we're going to come across tonight or talk about. Trust but verify. So it can really help. If you feel something's uneasy about it, trust your gut and take a breath and go from there.
Something that came up that I thought about when Walt was relaying, and he had 3 different scams that he was talking about, is that once they find someone like Walt, they know we'll answer the call and they may talk to them and get involved. That's a big red flag, I think, for the person. He or she is going to get more calls if they even start to respond.
Absolutely. And once we've found that the victim is being victimized, they're going to be victimized for a long time because they know especially if they've made a payment or lost some money in that scam, they're going to be scammed multiple times by other types of scams.
All right, from Illinois, let's head out to Virginia. Barbara is calling us from Virginia tonight. Barbara, we're glad you joined us. Thank you. Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to talk to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was a little leery of this call from Amazon. They were saying they were from Amazon. And they said, asked me had I ordered a laptop, and it was $1,500. And I said no. And they wanted to know what bank that I used to get that, to put it through there. They kept on asking me what bank did I use. And I told them if they were from Amazon, they already knew what bank I used.
Amen. Good. Way to go, Barbara.
My daughter had already warned me about things like that. And so I didn't hang up. They hung up on me.
Barbara, I didn't tell you before you came on. I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm interrupting you for a good reason. You're our first winner tonight of one of those totes. And so they have your telephone number. Someone will be calling you, not tonight, but following up in the next few days, and make sure you get that. So thanks for the call tonight. And Amazon, I guess you're hearing, is that a building type of a scam that you hear more and more because of who Amazon is? No, we're not giving them, but that's just so easy, it would seem.
Yeah, I mean, the scammers are really utilizing any legitimate company out there, Microsoft, Amazon. They'll also purport to be your bank, U.S. Bank, Bank of America, whatever it may be. And in that regard, they are trying to convince you, again, that something bad has happened with your account, or somebody's moving something out of your bank account and you need to take action fast in order to kind of prevent any further loss of funds. But again, step back with that, realize, hey, nothing is that important that I have to act right now with. Yep. Take the time and trust but verify. So in the circumstances where you got a call purporting to be from Amazon about an order that you have made, you can go in and log into your Amazon account on your own and see that you did not in fact order a laptop. So those scammers are just trying to check those people who don't take that time and then get you to act and send money fraudulently.
Amy, you're shaking your head like, yeah, you get a lot of this Amazon, that sounds like.
Yeah, Amazon imposter scams are really popular. We get them on the helpline every single day. And the one thing about these scams, the grandparent scams, and most scams is they want to get you under what we call the ether. They want you to get thinking with your emotions, like, oh my gosh, I have to act quickly, like with that sense of urgency. Mm-hmm. But as Brian said, take a deep breath, calm down, and just think, and maybe even say it out loud to yourself. Does this make sense that Amazon would be calling me with their millions of customers to tell me this? I think I should go check my account. Again, just say it to yourself, take a deep breath, and it's just, these scammers are everywhere and they're out to get your money.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of ways to stay safe. We're going to get another caller here, by the way. Pamela, we're going to get to you in just a moment, but you have some tips on how to stay safe. Take a breath, step back. What else do you have for us?
So here's the one thing, we carry our phones with us all the time, our devices, and a lot of us kind of get lazy with them.
Yeah.
Make sure you sign out of your financial apps on your phone. This includes your Venmo, Cash App, and your Zelle, right? Because if someone steals your phone, they might be able to transfer your money right away. So, sign out of your apps. Audit your wallet or your purse. I cannot believe how much stuff people carry around in their purses and their wallets. Those wallets, they're big business right now. People are stealing them not just for the cash, but for your Social Security card that you're carrying in there, for your driver's license. I've heard people carrying their birth certificates in their wallets. Take all of your stuff out and put only the necessary items in there. And then finally, monitor your credit reports. This is really important. Check your credit reports to make sure that no one has opened accounts in your name. And if they have, report it immediately.
All right, back to the phones. Pamela, thanks for holding on. And now we're going to go to you in Louisiana. Thanks for holding. And now you're up on Rural America Live.
Yes. How are you? I had a really bad experience with Publishers Clearinghouse, they said it was. They said I had won a car and I was to go and meet them in the next little village, and they would meet me with the car, and then they told me I had to go to Walmart and get some green card, whatever that is, and pay them a little money, and then I would get the Publishers Clearinghouse people to the house. Well, I was kind of naive at first, but I know better now. I wouldn't. This has been a couple of years ago. But what are these people? How do they get by with this? I finally, after I had spoken to him for quite some time, my son was in the house, and he said, "You better see that where he's calling you from." And I called the telephone company and asked them where that call was coming from and would I be billed for it. And they said, yeah, it had been coming from India and that it would be on my next bill.
Yeah, Pamela, thank you for the call here. Sean, she makes a note that she stayed on the line. I'm going to ask Brian maybe just too. Stayed on the line for a long time, talking to them for quite a while. Yeah. That's a no-no, I think.
You just need to cut off those all communications as soon as you can. Because once you get in that system, then you're going to be a prime target for continuous scammers.
Is that the ether Amy's talking about? They get you down underneath there and become friends and.
Yeah, the develop a relationship with you. Obviously, in that regard, is more the excitement level. Hey, you won the lottery or you won a car, and you're going to want to try to do what you can to receive that car. They'll make up charges, whether it be taxes you got to pay on that car, all in advance, right? Obviously, if you're having to pay fees in advance to win something, it's a scam. Yeah. Hang up.
100%.
Very good. All right, more calls coming in. We appreciate you joining our conversation. We're going to go to New Mexico. Mitten is joining us there. And Mitten, you are our second winner tonight. So we lead off by saying congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. Yes, I have 3 comments or a couple of questions. So I have basically I get emails every day. And these are basically potential scams. I call it potential because I have not, they are emails that they want me to get baited and basically get hooked on that. So these are specific ones. And say an example, the sender would be Cyrus or from iCloud or from such or Netflix. These are common senders, really, indicating my account has expired, or to that something very similar to that has expired, or something wrong with my account. So these are some examples. I get it on a constant basis. So the way I have been addressing it, I have Microsoft Outlook on my computer, and I use rule-based filtering technique on my email platform, and essentially trying to delete them. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not successful because they are changing the email addresses. So on one hand, I am trying to I am always getting some new ones and variations of the old. So that is one. And I'd like to hear a little bit more on how to respond to that more effectively. I am able to change my filtering, the email level of notification. There's a filtering, and I am trying to avoid going to very high sensitivity.
Very good.
In terms of
we've been kind of talking a lot about phone calls and grocery stores and the ATMs, crypto, whatever, but emails, that's where it all started a long time ago. That's how they got started.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes back to, again, trust but verify. If you think you have received a legitimate email from your bank or whatever, you want to call a number that you are known that is with U.S. Bank. Grab a bank statement. I don't mean to continually U.S. Bank, but just whatever you're banking at. Grab an old bank statement. There should be phone numbers all over that of how to get a hold of that bank. Call that bank up and say, hey, I just received an email stating that there was some fraudulent activity in my account. Is that accurate? They're going to obviously be able to identify or verify that that's a scam. So again, trust but verify. Don't take any action in any hurry. Slow down, take that breath, and then call that independent number that you've already known.
But what I do like about what Mitten was saying is the fact that he's taking control back of his email.
Amen, yeah.
And that's what we all need to do. We need to take control back, including our phone. So use some of the technology in your smartphone. Like you can send any unknown number to voicemail, meaning anybody that's not in your contacts that calls you, it'll go directly to your voicemail. Let's take control back of all of our devices.
My wife, Kathy, does that.
Yeah.
She's very proud of it. She should be,
Good.
If I don't know your phone, and her voicemail will say, if I don't know recognize this this call, I'm not going to answer it and leave a message. I will call you back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe on Outlook they've got report phishing
Report
icon
phishing.
on the top of that you can click to, and that may help. I don't know. Once you get in that system, if you continue getting emails, it's really hard to get off their list.
Yeah, I guess. All right, around the country we go to Texas, and Jennifer calling us from the Lone Star State. Thanks for calling.
Hey, howdy, y'all. How's it going down there?
We're all doing just fine here, aren't we?
Neighbor to the south. Just across Red River.
God bless you, Jennifer. How can we help you, or were you going to help us tonight?
Well, yeah, so this has happened many, many times, and I'm very aware of it because I'm often selling things on Facebook Marketplace, and it's usually with the pricier items. And so you'll get a lot of interest on things that are, let's say something's marked at $1,000, and you get really excited because somebody's ready to buy your big ticket item.
Yeah.
But then you look at their profile. It may be a nice little old lady with her grandson sitting on her lap, and you're like, oh, she must be sweet. This must be a real deal. So you're sitting here saying, okay, we got one on the line. It's going to go through. This is going to be great. So big news is if they just ask for Venmo, they won't take any kind of other payment, not PayPal or Zelle. They want the Venmo. Now, if they just say, what's your name, what's your phone number, they can easily pay you the Venmo, but they won't. They'll say, if they ask for your email is when you're like, ding, 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 red flag, because they don't need that. All they need is your name and your phone number to pay you. So once you send them your email, they will send a fake email to you saying that their, quote, business account Zelle will not go through unless you spend X amount of dollars. So they will try to get you to send them more money, and then they'll say, we'll pay you that money back whenever we purchase your item.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it goes down. And that happens so many times.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing that people just are terrible.
A lot of people using that Facebook Marketplace. Another example. Thanks for the call, Jennifer.
Yeah, and one thing we're also seeing in that regard is the potential buyer may send you a check for $10,000 more than you are selling your goods for, and they'll contact you, say, oh, I didn't mean to send an overpayment. Can you just please reimburse me the $9,000? And you thinking, okay, yeah, I've got $10,000. I'm going to send you $9,000 back because I'm a good person. But in reality, that check is going to bounce when your bank goes to clear it. And that might happen 5, 6, 7 days later, depending upon how long your bank takes to clear it. And so at that point, you'll have already sent your funds to the bad guy, and you're out $9,000 at that point.
That's the calls you hate to get, Amy. And day after day, people that have already sent it. There's nothing we can do to help you get that money back necessarily. Maybe there is. I don't know.
Well, you're right. We do get calls like this every single day on the Fraud Watch Network helpline. But what I really appreciate about Jennifer calling is the fact that she's sharing her scam warnings with all of us. And that's what we need to do in our community, right? And that's why we come on the show, and that's why we do what we do. The network. We have to share these scam stories with everybody so we can help our friends and family not be victims of these frauds.
I wasn't aware of the crypto thing at the grocery store.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Happened to me there as well. All right, we're going to take a short break here. We come back, we'll announce our second chance winner from March. If you called in but didn't get that tote, might be giving your name out here. Give us a call, though, tonight, 877-283-7570, and we may have a carry-all tote to give away to you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Real America Live. Our friends from AARP, Mark Oppold. Great to be here, too, with this team after some time away. A fast hour. We have a lot more to take care of. We still have a tote to give away, and we'll get right back to our phone lines as promised. But I want to announce the second chance winner for February, Karen B. from Escondido, California. Yes, indeed. If you're watching here, you are a winner. Congratulations. Since you provided your information when you did and scanned that QR code, that your tote is probably already on its way. Let's take a few more calls here. We have a lot of calls, I understand, are coming in strong, and I appreciate all the input. And Amy, you made a good point before we go to our next caller, by the way. Ted from Colorado, be right with you, that how helpful they are to everyone watching tonight.
We're learning from each other, right? It's like, that's why we appreciate everyone calling the helpline. That's how Brian does his job with people reporting scams. That's why we need you to call and report the scams that are affecting you. That's how we learn.
That's it.
Well, the Fraud Watch Network has a scam tracking map
Yep.
tool that we want folks.
Fraud Watch Network. Yeah.
You gotta get on there, because then you can see those trends out there. Report them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and just look at your screen right now and write this number down. Fraud Watch Network helpline.
I'll
You might
look at
even get
them,
me.
yeah.
877-908-3360. My team is amazing, and they are ready to take your calls.
All right. Way to go up there, Callie. And great crew up there as well. Let's go to the phones. We promised Ted we'd get right to him from Colorado. Ted, by the way, as I introduce you, you are our next winner. One of those totes will be on its way very soon when they give you a call. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
What your question or comment tonight?
Well, we've been getting telephone calls from, they say they're from our dish network, our television satellite, and they want to do some checks or something on it, and must turn on the television and all this. And of course, I'm suspicious, so I hang up right away. But anyway, I don't know if somebody else has been getting those kind of calls or not.
Well, are you hearing about that?
Yeah, I think it might be somewhat of a scam that I've heard about that really is they will offer you a discount to switch to their provider at a much cheaper rate, and then they'll just, once you do that switch, they will then overcharge you for the services. So I'm guessing that what it might be related to, but I'm not positive.
We hear that a lot too with like other kind of utility providers, whether it's Xfinity, Comcast, whoever you use, saying they're offering you a discount. But to get the discount, they need you to go get prepaid gift cards and then send them the money to honor the discount. Again, that is not how these legitimate companies work. So if anyone asks you for a prepaid gift card, it's a scam.
I did that. I got that call or text about 6 months ago.
See?
Needed
Right
a friend who they used a name of somebody that I knew.
Yeah.
And said we need to get some gift cards right away. Mark, could you help me out and do that?
Red flag.
And so, all right, Robert, North Carolina. Well, we're going coast to coast here. We love that. Welcome to the call here to the show, Robert.
Yes, hello, how are you?
You're just fine here. We're glad you called.
Yeah, what I've run into on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist when I've been selling items is, they'll attract interest and somebody will contact you. Oh, yeah, I'll be there to pick it up or buy it or whatever. And then they don't show up and, oh, well, I can't get there. My cousin will come by with a check or my brother and, some relative will come by and pick it up and pay for it, usually with a check. And then
Sure.
I stop them right there and tell them, look, I only accept money orders. I don't do Venmo and PayPal, and because I'm old and I'm old-fashioned. I don't put my information on the internet, and I just don't use that stuff. So I tell them, look, every Walmart's got money orders. Go get me a money order, and you can pick up the merchandise.
There we go.
Usually they hang up.
Hang up and don't show up, Brian. I guess that's
No, great advice. Absolutely. I think another kind of form of that scam that I have seen is that if you are actually buying heavy machinery, I know farm equipment has actually been on the list as well. So you think you have a great deal that you've seen online, and you want to buy that tractor or whatever it may be. But of course, they want the payment up front. But it's a great deal. The tractor and pictures look great. It looks like a legitimate sales website. And so you think it's legit, but in reality, that's a scam as well. So again, I'd be very leery about prepaying for any items of that expensive item.
Absolutely right.
And there's no good deals on farm equipment right now. I mean, I'll tell you, I don't care how old it is. There's no good deals on farm equipment.
That's it. Yeah, even people in rural America, they're not immune. There's not
cattle deal.
You don't have to look at a big city or anything like that. How about livestock though? I mean, you're in heavy livestock cattle country.
Well, and then there's scams around hay too. Especially folks needing that. We know that's a situation, but and that's really the second call where people use Facebook Marketplace. So I thought that's a real interesting trend where a lot of these scams are happening and so many people are on that selling their goods and services, whether it's farm or not. And so you've got to be really careful. And I think those 2 calls are extremely helpful because I never do these shows without learning something new.
Absolutely.
Amen. Yeah.
And I just, that's so helpful. We appreciate those calls.
Yeah.
We're going to go to your home state, Nebraska here.
Perfect. I like it.
Brian started his
Huskers.
career. Yeah, he's a proud Big Red fan here. I wonder if Nadine is here. Nadine, are you a Big Red fan?
Why, certainly I am.
Well, you're a winner, too, by the way. Callie said make sure Nadine knows she's going to get one of those totes. So not only a Big Red, but you're a winner. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Much.
Thanks for joining us. Go ahead.
My question is, I write checks for all my bills, and I stick it in the envelope and take it like over to a blue box and mail it. Is that safe or not? Are we really to take them into the post office?
Yeah, I think she's kind of answering that question. We talked a little bit earlier about that old scam, the check washing, and I've had that happen to me where the vendor didn't get my checks mailed to them, and I couldn't. Where'd the check go? Yeah. And so people are stealing those checks. So we recommend you go inside the post office and mail your checks for your payments. So I think she was getting to that point, but yeah, it's a tough one.
Because here's one of the things we know, and this is a very sad reality, that criminals are actually trying to steal the keys from the mailmen themselves and taking all of that mail out of the big blue boxes. And so go into the post office, right? I know it might seem like a second step, but then also check your bank accounts. Always check your bank accounts and make sure if you write a check, the dollar amount is what the bank cashed it for.
Wow. Even if the mailbox, we mail our stuff right outside the post office. You shouldn't do that?
I still don't. I still go inside.
You go inside?
Go inside.
Because usually they don't
pick it up at
I learned 5 o'clock every day.
There we go. Write it down.
Walk inside.
Yeah.
But, and then they start out taking a few dollars out if you don't catch it. And so it'll be a long-term scam that they'll see how far they can get.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Michigan. Mary has been hanging on here. Thanks for calling us, Mary, and welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I guess I have a question and then maybe a comment. Several years ago, someone went inside of a store and tried to open up an account in my name, but they didn't have enough information. So, I got the letter in the mail, did you try this or whatever. Why? And I guess it wasn't me. They had the person there on camera. However, the police would not investigate. And then my second is, it's a question also. Is anything being done at the state, federal, or some level to try and investigate the fraud calls and the calls that are coming from India regarding Social Security and that type of thing?
Well, we have a man from the FBI here, and I'm going to put him to work on that investigation part. I'm sure there's some limits for your department as well, though.
Well, sure, and kind of in regards to about the police not doing anything, there is certainly limited resources that we all have in law enforcement, and we can't investigate absolutely everything. So we kind of have to prioritize, and maybe at that point in time, there are other things that were going on that the police were having to deal with. As far as investigating India or stopping robocalls, if you will, I know we're working with the telecommunication companies to try to create products that may help in doing those, blocking those calls, whatever it may be, but there are other tools you can utilize on your cell phone already.
What about those international scammers? How much, the reach does the FBI have if they even know where they are?
Well, a lot of them, I mean, we are doing everything we possibly can to pursue justice for those individuals and also try to claw back any funds that we can. But obviously it's compounded, the complexity of it's a little bit different when it's in another country. So we certainly have our law enforcement partners in other foreign countries and also FBI employees in those countries that liaise with them. So we're doing everything we actively can in those regards.
And picture this. I mean, there's 4 billion robocalls made every month. And many of those are fraudulent that, they're using those numbers. And so, we know a few years ago the FCC, worked really hard, and it's real important to talk to your telecom provider to see what they're doing, what's in place to help block those calls, because there's federal agency rules, and Congress also passed some of that trying to limit those spoofing and unsolicited calls. So be kind of vigilant.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
All right, we talked about, he mentions calls. We still have time to hear.
We want 4 billion.
Your call.
We want 4 billion calls.
877-283-7570 to join our conversation before we have to say goodnight. 877-283-7570 to Tennessee. I wrote down next here. Linda from Tennessee. There's a song called Linda.
That's right.
They ever sing that to you?
You want to start it? I'll follow your lead, Mark.
Anyway, we're having fun, but go ahead, Linda.
Okay, I have a kind of a unusual situation. My brother mailed his income tax last week, and he had sent his check in with his forms. And today he got a envelope back from the post office, and it had his check in it, but no paperwork, no information, no note that it was found on the floor or something. But on the outside of the envelope, it had UND, local post office, Knoxville, Tennessee. There was absolutely no explanation, but on the check where his signature was, it was like it was stamped with black wavy lines. So we don't know where in the world his income tax forms are, and if someone got his Social Security numbers, and we called the 3 credit companies and got a freeze put on. But as far as the next step, I told him to go back to the post office in the morning and ask them if they could provide an explanation as to why there wasn't even a note, and go to the Social Security office and maybe report a possible stolen Social Security numbers. Do you have any other recommendations?
So what I think might have happened in this situation, and this has happened to me before, when you get mail back and it got destroyed somehow. So who knows where that income tax statement is, right? But you're doing everything right to pretend it's in the hands of a criminal, right? So put a fraud alert on your credit reports, which you've already done. Contact the Social Security office, right? Contact the IRS. Check your bank. Who knows if they have any information off of that check? Most likely the UND meant undeliverable because somehow that paperwork just got destroyed, lost, who knows, but you're doing everything right in that situation. And again, if you get somewhere and you have more questions, call us on the helpline. This is what our trained volunteers are there to help you with, is guide you on the next steps. But you've done everything right, so good job for you.
What is that phone number?
877-908-3360.
We'll put that up there on the screen here along with our call-in number, but good job.
Fraud Watch Network, right?
Fraud Watch Network, you know.
There we go. Give that number again, Amy, now that people can write it down.
877-908-3360.
And what is going to happen when they call that number?
So first you're going to be talking to someone on the phone. They're going to try to find out what your issue is. They might take your name and your phone number and have a fraud specialist call you back, or they might be able to handle your situation right then and there. But one of our fraud specialists will call you back if unfortunately you have been a victim, and they'll give you all the guidance, the resources, the empathy, and really just that listening ear with kindness, to help you through your situation, because it's very stressful.
I'll bet.
It's very stressful.
Right. She also mentioned doesn't the Postal Service also, they'll help investigate too?
Yeah, the Postal Service has their own investigative agency called the United States Postal Inspectors.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, guess where we're going next? Place we all would like to be.
God's country?
No. Well,
Nebraska?
If you call Hawaii God's country.
Okay.
Mary. I don't know. I've never gotten a call from Hawaii before.
I'm so glad we do.
You're making history for me anyway. Mary, welcome. And you're a winner, by the way, too. And that'll go across. We can put that on a plane just as easy as it goes to Nebraska.
Mary, I can personally deliver that one. AARP pays for it. AARP pays for it on there.
So you are a winner, Mary. Thanks for calling from Hawaii tonight. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. I haven't had scam, but I've had recent identity theft, which has gone on since the end of October.
Wow.
And we've tried to do all of the things, gone to the credit bureaus, frozen our accounts. I had so many issues.
Experian seems to be the worst to me. They've got the most breaches from them, and somehow the thief will go in and is able to change our passwords, change our email, change the address, change the phone numbers, and then you go and you call in again in the fraud department, and then one of the automatic telephone things will say, once they give you your Social Security number and say change the password, and they say, oh, do you want to thaw your account? And then they say yes, and then we'll go in and find our account was frozen. So every day we're trying to check our credit bureaus, and we've had to send all this stuff for verification and, two-step verification and all that. And I just wonder, how can they keep doing these with the credit reporting agencies? I don't know. They're just so persistent. And then another comment is, we've filed police reports in the FTC.gov forms, and they seem to be nationwide, like a limited form. And you can only put so many words in if you don't have all the information. To me, it was just very limited how we can do that. And I found, because my permanent residency is Oregon, but I live in Hawaii 6 months out of the year. The initial breach was from my dentist office here in Hawaii. They were hacked by Hawaiian Telecom. But Hawaii, my local police station, wouldn't accept my police report for Hawaii. I had to file in Portland.
Yeah.
And
Mary, thanks for the call. We are getting toward the top of the hour here, and really appreciate that. Real quick, identity theft.
And Mary, I hear the frustration in your voice. It's very frustrating. Again, you can call us on the helpline, and one of our trained volunteers can give you some more steps and, just help. But you are going to have to be your number one advocate in these situations. But identity theft, it is everywhere, and we need to be careful. So if you haven't frozen your credit, freeze your credit, people, right? Stop carrying your Social Security card in your wallet. Stop carrying your birth certificate in your wallet. But call us on the helpline, go to Fraud Watch Network, and just learn everything you can about how to protect yourself from identity theft.
Well, we knew the hour would go fast, and we are running out of time here. We want to give each of you a chance for some final thoughts. Brian Blosser, thank you for joining us tonight. Great to have someone from your perspective. But what do you want to leave with our friends tonight here about scams?
Yeah, as Amy's kind of mentioned throughout, if we don't know about it, we can't do anything about it. So we have multiple ways where you can report a crime to us. Obviously, you got your local and state law enforcement agencies, but for the FBI to contact us, you can do it in multiple ways. You can file a complaint with the ic3.gov website, and that's the letters igloo, Charlie, and the number 3.gov. And there's a link at the top that says file a complaint. So be verbose with your complaint, file all the information you have, or you can contact a local FBI field office and just search on the internet, local FBI, and they will come up with a phone number there, and you can probably talk to a live person.
Yeah, don't be intimidated. I mean, it would seem like a bit hard to do. We got about a minute and a half here. Amy, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is his final thoughts. Report these crimes. We need to know about it. Wherever you're comfortable, local law enforcement, FBI, Fraud Watch Network, report these. I don't care if you lost money or not. We want to know what scams are affecting you, so call and report them.
Yeah. And the last word here, Mr. Sean.
You know what happens in July? The Olympics are going to happen. And so be prepared for any texts you get from a friend who says, I'm in Paris, I lost my billfold, I need some money, Venmo me or wire me some money. That most likely will be a scam. You need to hang up and contact your friend. Remember, sign up for the Do Not Call list. And many times your state will have a Do Not Call list. Sign up for both of those to help get unwanted calls. And even though I know they're from legitimate companies, it's still a good practice to have. Also, if you hate getting those pre-approved credit offers from banks and that sort of thing, you can sign to not get those sent to you. Go to 1-888-5-OPT-OUT to get removed from those free credit reports sent to you.
Great points here. Yeah. Thank you. Good to see you guys again. And Brian, good to have you here as well.
Thanks for
Welcome
having me.
anytime. Very good.
Appreciate
All
that.
right, well, that does it tonight. Join us next month. They'll be here May the 16th to get tips on how to declutter and downsize. There'll be a lot of folks that will want to know about that. I'm Mark Oppel. Good night from rural America's most important network.